Hey, it's Mark Ferguson with InvestorMore, and this is a rental property I own where I just got fined by the city for my yard being too weedy. And this is what it looks like now. I was just fined on Friday. We'll talk about how much it was, and maybe we'll even show a few of the city properties to show what they look like as well. So I had another video about this property. It was actually meant to be a flip. Then we had someone who wanted to do a rent to own. They still live there. They haven't been able to buy it, but they are paying rent on the property. And well, throughout the years, the property has had an okay yard, but there were quite a few weeds in it. And actually, here's what it has looked like in the past. So here is the property in May 2024 on Google Maps. And I think I was given that notice in April that we had to clean up the yard because there were too many weeds. So we went over, mowed it. I don't think the tenants had been mowing it quite as well as they should have. And thought that was good. Well, apparently that wasn't good because we got another notice that said they hadn't heard anything, we hadn't done anything on the property, and there were too many weeds. So we said, okay. So we talked to them and said, well, it's not your weeds are too tall, you have too many weeds, you need more grass. And so I guess we're supposed to be, I guess this has more grass, looking like that. That has lots of weeds. That has lots of weeds. That has maybe more grass. Was this just after a hailstorm? I feel like this might have been just after a hailstorm because of all the foliage on the ground. That one has lots of weeds. Anyway, so we said, okay, so we actually went to the property and where am I? Seeded and put on sprinklers and everything and let them know. They went back to the property and said, nope, that's not good enough. You have to rototill everything, get all of the weeds out, lay sod, and that's what you need to do. So we actually went and did that, as you could see, and we let them know, and they said, well, sorry, you're too late. There's still a hearing scheduled you have to go to. And so you can call me stubborn, or people call me that a lot. I said, the hearing was at 8:30 on Friday morning, and I had a lot of things going on, some appointments, and I'm like, I wasn't planning to go to the hearing, so I thought we had taken care of the problem. So I said, well, I can't go to the hearing. Can I go virtually? Because we've had eviction hearings and different stuff. We could always go virtually. There's no problem. And they're like, nope, you can't. You have to go in person. And I was like, okay. I'm like, here are the pictures again. And I didn't hear anything. And then I got an email a few hours later saying, since you didn't show up to the hearing, the city has fined you. And they fined me $2,000, $1,000 each for weed violation and weed abatement or something. And I wonder why that house is blocked out. That's weird. Anyway, I said, I sent pictures. The house is okay. This is kind of a little crazy. And they didn't seem to care. And what was really odd too was on the time on, oh, that's a really nice one there. The hearing was 10:15 was written on our fine thing. And I said, hey, why is this at 10:15? I could have made that time. And they said, well, they do for the people who don't show up, they wait a long time to see if they will show up. And since you never showed up, we waited till 10:15. Like, your notice says I have to be there within 15 minutes or they'll automatically fine me. But apparently that wasn't true. So just all kinds of weird stuff going on. And you can see the yards all over the place. So that's what happened. And here we are. But I'm getting distracted because I want to go back to my house and we'll show you what it looked like in the past. Because we can click on this cool stuff here and go to more dates. And we can go to August. And like I said, once in a while, the tenants did not mow, like right there, and we would come in and mow for them, or we actually gave them contact information for our mowers and had it set up so they would do it. But again, you can see, I mean, very similar looking properties. This is before I bought it. This is what the property looked like. Also before I bought it, this is what the property looked like. And I'm assuming they never had any fines during these points or any violations. But you never know. maybe they were just constantly getting fines and violations and paying them. I seriously doubt that. But there you go. So that's what the property has looked like over time. And the city obviously was not very happy with how we had it looking. So I am able to ask for a rehearing, apparently, if I write a letter and tell them what happened and why. And I went back to, curious what these properties, look at hey, they used to have nice grass. And if you're wondering what our yard looked like when they said it wasn't good enough, this is after we had mowed it and seeded it. And obviously there wasn't a ton of time for the seed to grow in, but we did have some grass, and it wasn't dead weeds, it was actually green weeds, and it really didn't look that bad. There's worse yards throughout the town, all over. And I don't want to point them out specifically, because then the city might say, well, we just got a notice and we need to go give them a lien and give them a notice to come to court. So I don't want to get other people in trouble. And you also find some of the city's properties that also don't look amazing as well, which is interesting to me, in that they're out here patrolling and enforcing everybody else, but maybe they don't have to live by the same rules, which does not sound like the government at all. They would never do that. So here are a few of the city properties. Now, these are just kind of the first ones I really drove by. There's lots of different areas, and I understand the city has lots and lots of properties they have to take care of, but so do other people. This is one of their properties right by an irrigation ditch, so it looks pretty nice. And this is actually maybe 1 block away from my property. This is probably 2 blocks away, where another of the city properties, just branches, dead branches, weeds everywhere all over. And this was not uncommon to find on pretty much most of the city's owned lots. You can see the front area section there is all weeds and pretty much no grass, which doesn't seem to be in line with what they're asking us to do. This is a park, so those are City of Greeley truck right there. So that is their park. They're kind of making sure the grass is green over there, and then this section right here is also City of Greeley owned, and just dead weeds everywhere. Now, Greeley also has some natural areas where if you have grass, like tall grass, that's okay. And if you have a house that's xeriscaped with like rocks and mulch, that's sort of okay. But even they told us like 50% of our yard had to be grass, and 50% of it could be mulch or rock. And then a lot of times those xeriscaped yards just look awful. More City of Greeley land in the city limits right here. Again, they might try and play this off as being natural area with just some weeds in it, but I guess you could make the argument either way. This one is tricky because this is a school, but it's not owned by the City of Greeley. It's a Weld County school. So this was pretty much all weeds, almost no grass at all anywhere. And which is kind of sad because it's a school, right? And if they want us to abide by their guidelines, you'd think they would want the county too. So I wonder if they're going to place a lien against the county property for their grass not being grass, but just weeds, or if they've sent them letters or anything like that. These are kind of retention ponds throughout neighborhoods all over town, all owned by the city. Again, most everything I saw in the city looked much worse than ours do. And maybe they have different rules for like their stuff, I'm sure they do. But yeah, just thought I would share some of these. So we will try to write a letter, see if we can get a rehearing, see if we can get those fines removed or not. If I do go to the hearing, I wonder if I can record it. I will try to do that because it is public. I asked the people if they're public hearings, and they said yes. And then I tried to ask, too, if there's a list of all the different people who are going to these hearings somewhere, and they wouldn't tell me. I couldn't find one, so I'm not sure if that's public. I'm sure that should be public information, but I was curious just how many people are having to go through this as well. Again, here's what the yard looked like before the hearing, after we were done, but we did not send this in time for that hearing to be canceled. So that's what happened. That's where we're at right now. we'll have some updates on this later on. The hearing would be August 16th, I think, if they approve me and approve my letter. And yeah, we'll go from there. Let me know what you think, or if you're going through other similar stuff. We're in Greeley, Colorado, if you didn't hear that already. Thanks for watching. We'll be back soon.